welcome back to yet another episode of the Virtuous Woman Show. My name is Sheila Juma and I am your host. As always, I'd like to encourage you to share this link, share this broadcast with someone. Don't get blessed alone. It's going to be a very informative topic today. We'd like to encourage you to also follow us on our social media platforms. We are the Virtuous Woman Show on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, even TikTok, and on YouTube. Kindly go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the content that we upload. Like I said, if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead, share this link, tell somebody that the show is on, and let us have a great learning time together tonight. I hope you've had a great week, and today we'll be talking about mental health. These days, it is quite the topic going around town, and very many people are discussing mental health. Many people don't understand it, and so that's why we're bringing it to you today, so we can get to know a little bit about mental health and how to deal with mental health challenges that people face every day. And so today on set, we have a lovely lady. Her name is Sarah Nafula. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
We are so glad to have you. So kindly tell us who you are, what your name is, what you like to do, and what you professionally do.
My name is Sarah Nafula. Currently, I'm pursuing psychology and counseling. That is majorly what I'm doing currently. And apart from learning, some things that I do, like, let me say for fun, reading and writing.
That's still learning.
But now
So you enjoy learning?
Yeah, I really just enjoy learning. Let me just say that.
Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you major in psychology and counseling in school. Which school?
I study in Kingdom Transformers Training Institute in my church in Kingdom Seekers.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so you handle mental health issues when it comes to counseling and psychology.
Yes.
Is it something that you've always wanted to do to help people? How did you come about mental health?
Majorly, let me say, I've really had this passion concerning mental health because I was once a victim of it.
Okay.
So growing up and going through the phases of life, and you meet different challenges along the way, I think there is that one thing about having somebody to listen to you and to give you guidance. I think that is something I never had.
Okay.
So when you have a lot of issues in your life, you might develop a few things like stress, like depression, and you're there and you don't know what to do. And there's nobody to give you guidance. That's why I've really put in more emphasis in psychology and counseling, and just want to emphasize so much on the mental health. Yeah. Because many people are going through so much, and there's nobody to just listen.
To listen to them.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And this word is thrown around a lot, squeeze, which is not a bad thing. It's good to bring awareness to mental health issues, especially here in Africa, where it's seen maybe like as a taboo to be mtu ako na shida kwa akili. It's maybe seen as a taboo, so it's good to be hearing this term being thrown around a lot. But I feel like not many people really know or understand what mental health issues are. So could you kindly define for us what mental health is?
Okay, mental health, basically it talks about the emotions, psychological and social well-being. So it's the well-being of your emotions, it's the well-being psychologically, it's the well-being of your social life, and it all comes from the mind. How is your mind? How healthy are you? Like mentally, are you good? Are you fine? I think the question is, are you okay? How are you feeling? And that is one of the things we always neglect. You find somebody and they say, how are you? And they're like, I'm okay, fine. I'm fine. Yeah. But in real sense, there are a lot of things that are going through in this person's mind. She or he is struggling with something. And in my course, we call them fine, okay, and good. Those are blocks. We call them blocks. It's like just building a wall. Or like, hi Sheila, I'm fine. You're blocking the real feeling. Now, over here, basically, let me just say in Africa, we really valued this fine, good, and okay. And it has made us not to speak out our feelings. It's like it's bad to tell your friend today I'm not feeling it. I'm going through stuff. and I just feel like I'm not in the mood of just talking today, because we are trying to please somebody. We don't want to show that we are not okay. We are trying to play good and show good.
Yeah.
But because of us not expressing our feelings, we tend to harbor them in the inside of us.
So basically, mental health stems from the question, how are you feeling?
Yeah, like, how are you?
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you sad? If you're sad, why are you sad? Why do you think you're sad?
Yeah.
Ule uko moody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And majorly, we put it as what is making you sad.
Okay.
Why sounds like kind of judgmental, like why are you feeling that way?
Yeah,
it's like it's wrong.
Okay, makes sense.
But now when you say what is making you feeling sad today, you'll just find somebody opening up like, you know, yesterday I came like this and this happened, and this is now what has made me feel sad.
And what is mental wellness? At what point can someone say I'm mentally okay? What are the symptoms of being well mentally? Okay,
let me just put it at a place of being sober-minded.
Okay.
That you're able to express your feelings. You're good at saying like, me, I'm not coming today. I'm not at a place where I think I need to like go out with you. I just want to be alone. So you're well because you're able to express how you're feeling.
Okay.
That is now we say wellness. You're able to speak out and say, I'm not fine.
Okay.
I'm not doing this today. You have the boldness in you to speak what is literally going through your mind. But if you find yourself at a place where you're like, I don't want to say that, maybe I'm going to hurt her feelings, or am I? But you're harboring the real feeling in you. And that is when it comes to a place where when you're outburst, you find like you really have a lot that you have at heart.
Yeah.
And imefika ile mahali, I can't take it anymore. I want now people to know that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
You know, when you always try to play good and to play that you're always present, people might always see you as, this person has got it all figured out, you know. So it reaches a point and you're like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay. What would you say is the diagnosis of today's society? Because based on what cases that we hear of, the rising number of suicides, the rising number of depression cases here and there, what would your diagnosis be, especially among the young people, even among the older generation folks? But what is your diagnosis of today's society? Where do you think we are?
If I'm to give it a word, we are living in a society where it's more of, it's me and me alone. I don't care what that other person is going through, but as long as I'm the one in the page, I want to be, my concentration, all concentration should be on Sarah. That is why you find somebody saying, the current statements that come out, akila mtu na maisha yake, you know, like we don't care about what that other person is feeling. That's why we'll go around hurting people without our knowledge, because we are really focused on myself.
Yeah.
I don't care what Sheila is going through. So I can just pounce words on Sheila without having the knowledge that Sheila might be going through stuff.
True.
So we are more selfish. We are living in a society that is selfish.
Okay. Yeah. Looking back, let's say 30, 40 years ago, these issues, I don't want to say that they were non-existent, but they were not as pronounced as today. Maybe they're not as loudly spoken about as today. Is it that people back then were stronger and squeezed, we are a bit weak? What changed between 30 years ago and today? Because it's more pronounced. There's more cases coming up. Is it that we are becoming more vocal, or is it that cases have just increased? What's the difference?
I think my generation is more, this generation is more vocal.
Okay.
The fact that it was never heard before, it doesn't mean it never existed. So I think kitambo, people used to harbor them. They harbored issues. You're beaten by your husband, but you just harbor it. Then you come up with a slogan saying, pia sisi tulipigwa, na hatukuwahi toka kwa marriage. So for us, it's like, me, a man cannot beat me. So that is why I think currently it's being more vocalized. Like, this is wrong and this is bad. But now there are people who can still contend because of the advices they were given from the people from long ago. That's why we hear so much issues with killings and concerning suicide is that we are living in a busy generation and people are in competition. And you find that I want to become like Sheila. We studied together. But why is it that Sheila is making more than I am? Or she has made it and I've not yet. So because I want to look like Sheila, I'll do anything. And if it's not working, I'll rather die.
Comparison.
There's too much comparison and competition at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so these two major things are really affecting our generation, basically. And I think it's a high time people really know that we are running different races. Your race and my race is different. I don't need to be you, I just need to be me.
Yeah.
And I think people need to come to a place of understanding that there is me that I need to work on, and less of being somebody else. Because that being somebody else is making people commit suicide. It's making people pretend so much. It's making people become who they are not. So we are living photocopies currently. Because I'm like Sheila, I'm like this one, I'm like this one. So where is Sarah? Who is Sarah?
Yeah.
We forget the who Sarah is and we start putting the what Sarah is. Okay. Because what does not define who. What is just the outcome of who Sarah is. But now we've measured so much on the what and forgotten the who.
So basically the main difference is the things are still there, the things are still happening, but we are more vocal about it. So it's not that they never existed like 30, 40 years ago. People are still being beaten by their husbands. That's what you do. But now when that happens, you speak out. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
When you talk about mental health, people just think of a blanket. It's a blanket statement. Like if you're physically sick, there has to be a diagnosis that you will get from a doctor. So what are some of the diagnoses of mental health? I've heard you mention depression, but maybe you can give us some more and define what these terms really mean.
Okay, for depression, let me start with stress. Stress, it's the pressure that accumulation of something that you're thinking about, like other moments. That is why you develop stress, because this is something that is disturbing in the inside of you. But depression comes when it has taken now much more time. Like now you say, I'm really depressed over an issue that happened, and you're trying to come up with solutions, but it's not making it. So you fall into depression. But stress, basically, it's at that time. Okay. But when it gets sorted, it's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you be stressed for a long period of time?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Until it's worked on. But now if you do not work on it earlier, it turns out to be depression.
So depression is more severe than
it's
stress.
severe more than stress.
Okay. And I've heard this, especially among young people, this term anxiety thrown around. What exactly is anxiety?
Anxiety, basically, it's the tension in the inside of you. It's like when you're doing, maybe let me say for the first time, you're doing something, there's always that anxiety in you, like, I don't know what's going to happen, like that. You're just having tension in the inside of you. Yeah.
And how do you deal with such tension in such a moment where you start feeling anxiety? How do you deal with that? Because it seems that it's not as severe as depression. Because I feel like depression, you probably need extensive help, and anxiety, we also need help, but is it something that you can deal with on the go?
Yeah, something like calming down, like we always call them like warm-ups.
Okay.
People who, like, that is just the normal anxieties. There are different stages of anxieties that can be dealt with. The more you get deeper, the more the solution becomes more bigger and vital.
Okay, makes sense.
But now the normal anxiety, you just calm down, you're given some breathers just to calm your nerves. Yeah, because to release the tension in the inside of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. there's a high rise of a number of mental health issues these days. Who do you think is to blame? Who can we point a finger at? Like what can we point a finger at?
Mental health. Whom we can blame? I think we can blame ourselves, like individuals. Like, let me say, for people who are going through challenges, you know, we are not speaking out. We are not speaking how we are feeling. So I think my major concern is people should speak out on how they are feeling. Yeah, and stop playing nice and good and jovial, yet you're not. Just living the real self.
Yeah.
Be real, be you. Nothing, it's easier living you than living somebody else's life. So I think it's, for me, I think I'll put it on self. Let us be who we need to be.
Yeah.
And stop being who we are not.
Okay. So on that point, do you think social media has a part to play in mental health issues today?
So much.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think because of comparison, I see somebody driving a big car and their age mates, and that strikes a nerve in you, you know, and you're like, hey, I need to be like that person. We forget that we don't know how he got it, but we are just after having that car. I saw my guy did this, you know, he bought a car yesterday. How do you know if it's rituals? How did you know? How do you know that even maybe he borrowed that car? But because of that simple thing makes somebody fall into a place of, how am I going to get it? And now it becomes a sickening thing in him or her. And they'll go about doing each and everything to just get that thing. And that takes that person through stress. And you see this person is depressed. And then when you try to ask questions, you're like, you know, my friends have made it and me have not. And you're like, how do you know they've made it? What makes you think they've made it? And then woe unto you, you hear that that car was a friend's, and you fell into depression.
Yeah. The people who do these things, for example, people who are on social media doing everything just for their likes. So they'll borrow a car here, they'll borrow clothes here, they'll do this, they'll do that. What kind of mental health issue do those people have?
Okay, obviously, even them that are doing that, they are struggling with a disorder.
Yeah.
And basically, I can measure it on self-esteem. They have really not accepted who they are. Like, currently, I don't have a car. And you know, you find all these likes and all the comments, congratulations, and they're saying thank you. But that basically is not them. So there is a struggle of making it and materialism in our generation currently. I think we define like making it to be, I have a big house, I have a big car, you know. So if I get a chance of just taking that photo with a Lamborghini and just posting it in Facebook, I know I'll get likes. Low self-esteem. Because
you equate likes to approval.
Yeah, and somebody who is having like, he's like, I want to be this person. Imagine you're competing with a sick person mentally. Wow. So you're getting depressed over another sick, depressed, low-esteem person.
And that cycle is very toxic.
It's so toxic. So you find that we are a lot of people trying to compete with other sick people, and also us, we are sick in ourselves. So we are just running around and bringing up a generation that is hurt, that is competitive, and we lose the real essence of who I am as a person. And we are coming up with all these versions of same people because there's no creativity.
You just want to be like the next person.
Yeah, if he has a Lamborghini, I want a Lamborghini, and this one has the same and the same. So we are just coming up same, no difference.
Okay, let's talk about relationships really quick, because when people bring up some of these mental issues, you'll find some of them stem from relationships that they've gone through where they've faced disappointment, or they've even been with someone who's just toxic. We've heard of the term narcissist. Maybe you can define for us what a narcissist is before we even continue on that
A
topic.
narcissist is somebody who basically thinks of self. It's me. You will always you'll always be the victim.
Okay.
The other person can never be. They're always wrong.
You're always right.
You're always right.
Okay.
So even if we have an argument, no, I'm not the problem. You know, me, I'm good. You are the issue. So they always play victim in each and every situation. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll find a person who has been in a relationship with that kind of person, and you wonder, why is this person not leaving? You know, you've heard of very many situations where the lady or even the guy is being beaten up or is being cheated on multiple times, but they are not leaving and they are still there saying, oh, I love them. What is the problem there?
I think, okay, for me, I'll put it like this. Majorly, if you find somebody is in a toxic relationship and it's so hard for them to come out, it's because there's also that mentality in them. They feel like, if I leave him, you know, you now see the other person as the, you know, the innocent one. Like, who will love him? He will be loved. So he will be loved, but now you're loving somebody who needs help.
Yeah.
This is somebody who's sick. This is somebody who can kill you if you don't leave. But now the problem also here is self-esteem. You feel like nobody can love me the way
this person
loved me. So I'll rather endure the beatings, I'll rather endure the insults, and because you don't have anybody to share with, because if you say you'll be beaten, so you find that self-esteem is also involved in this, and this other person needs help.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are some of the early indications that you can pick out as an individual that can help you know, I need help?
Basically, now I'll put it in different stages. There's some actions like, let me say, growing up, because even narcissists, even these other problems that accumulate, it's because it started from within. We call it psychoanalytic. It's majorly from you being young to where you are. So you always find that this narcissist, maybe through his life or her life, he has always lived to be the blame. So he has come to a place where I don't want to be the victim anymore. So in any issue, me, I'm not the issue, I'm the victim.
Yeah.
So there is always a problem with somewhere in line, growing up somewhere, that brings out these issues. And I think it's people to really understand where they are emotionally. Because if I'm always violent, if I'm always angry, those are some of the indications that will show you I need help. If small triggers can cause you to really rant out and talk so vulgar languages, you need help. What are causing these anger issues? What are causing you to be so low in yourself? Like, me, I have no problem. I just love the way I am. I don't need to improve. What are those things that are causing you to be like that? You'll find that there's always an issue behind it. So these people need to get help. Why am I angry? Why do I have outbursts? Why do I get so anxious of things? You need help.
Yeah. And when it comes to depression, is just being sad an indication? Because people can just be, something can happen, makes you sad, and then you get over it and then you're okay. But what are the indications of depression that someone needs to be on the lookout for, so that you don't get so deep into it without getting the help that you need?
Hopelessness. You're so hopeless. And there is that part where you're always procrastinating, like you have no self-esteem, goes down, like you have no energy for anything. You're always asleep, you're always indoors, like nothing else goes around your life because there's something that is holding you, like a bondage. Let me say it's a bondage, and it's like you've been caged. So literally when you're in a cage, there's nothing you can do. So that is where you are emotionally caged. And until that thing has been realized, you'll come out of the cage. Unless that key will be gotten and unlock your emotions, you'll always remain in that cage.
Okay. When you're sick physically, you're given medicine. When you're sick mentally, what are you given? What happens?
Okay, basically we are always told, like for us who are practicing counseling is listening.
Okay.
So if you're going through issues, get someone.
Okay.
Write journals, write them down. We call them journals. Write them down. Get to pour out your emotions somewhere. Get a friend. Talk to them about what you're going through. And majorly, I will insist is this: be you. Speak out your feelings.
Yeah.
Don't hold them in, because the more you hold them in, it turns out to be something else. Yeah, so speak out, get somebody. If you cannot, if you don't have that friend, go to a therapist. Go get help.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to be helped, you're going to be now the issue somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So talking to someone, but there's also trained professionals like yourself. How can we get in contact with people who, how do we get to know this person is a therapist? Is it a quick online search, or how can we get to know different therapists? Basically,
it's a quick online search, and also if somebody can visit like hospitals, you never miss therapists in hospitals.
Okay.
Many careers have therapists in them, like in law firms you'll find counselors there, in medical firms you'll find counselors there. Like you can go online, you can search for a few. There are a few that are always out there, and they've given out their contacts, and you can find them. All right, why don't you give us your parting shot, and also let us know how we can reach out to you if anyone needs to. Be yourself, and speak out your feelings. Don't harbor them inside of you, because you're going to be mentally, I define it as mentally sick. You're going to be sick in the inside, and you're going to come out a person that you really are not. So get help, speak to people, and express what is in the inside of you. All right. You can let us know your number, and then we'll write it down on the screen. 0792 417119. Okay, awesome. So thank you so much, Sarah, for coming and engaging with us on this topic. We've learned quite a lot. Asante sana. Thank you so much for also hosting me over here. Yeah. I really feel blessed and I'm humbled. Awesome. Yeah. So if you're there and you're struggling with something, or you've noted some of the things she said and you've noted, I may need some help, the number is on your screen. Go ahead, contact her. Or if you're in Nairobi or any other environment, you can do a quick online search and find someone who is a trained professional to help you through this time. I've been your host, Sheila Juma. I'll see you same time, same place. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.